Hello everyone and welcome to Tripp's art class. Today we're going to be talking about value. Now this is not the type of value in the sense of something being worth a lot of money or worth a lot. This is value in terms of shading. So when you hear the word value in this beginning art class, what I want you to think of is shading, okay? So don't let that be confusing to you at all. So let's go ahead and talk about the first thing we typically learn when we talk about value, and that is I'll write it right here, the value scale. Now, the value scale can come in many different shapes and sizes. Sometimes people have a 13-box value scale, a 10-box value scale, a 5-box value scale. In this class, I like to do a very in-between 7-box value scale. So what I'm going to do is draw some boxes here. And I'm going to be using my digital ruler. You can use your real ruler if you want to. Use my eraser here to clean it up a little bit. Now you definitely want to use a wooden pencil for this assignment. And then it's a good idea to dull it down a little bit so you get a nice flat edge. So, first thing you're going to do is to draw this rectangle. And then we're going to divide it into 7 different boxes. So we want 7 boxes. So what I'm going to do is put little markers. See if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's just about right. Now this isn't going to be perfect, but you guys will get the point. Okay, yes, it's not really perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up a little bit. I'm going to move some of these over. And you should be doing this at home too if you're in my actual art class. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go ahead and end it right here. So make sure you have it set up where you have 7 different boxes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase these little marking points. We don't need those anymore. And then go ahead and put this in its right position. So this one right here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the easiest one is number 1. For number 1, you don't have to do anything. It is completely white. Another easy one is number 7. So you're going to take your pencil and shade number 7 in completely. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to find one that's a little bit darker than number 1. Then we're going to go a little bit darker for number 2, and a little bit darker for number 3. A little bit darker for number 4. A bit darker for number 5, darker for number 6. Actually, I can go darker for number 6, and then 7. So what you see here is the value changes from 1 to 7, where it goes from completely white to completely black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what you're going to do with your pencil is you're going to shade in this area to create this value scale where it goes from light to dark. Okay, make sure you take your time and shade it completely, where it goes from completely white where there's no pencil marks to just very, very light shading to darker shading, darker, 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 and darker until you get to number 7. And that is the value scale. So that is your assignment to do if you're in my actual art class. For everyone else, you can do this in your sketchbook just so you have it. Now, why is this important? Why do we do this? This is to help us while we're shading, especially when we're doing critiques. So say you have an assignment and you're doing a drawing and you're only really using, let me go ahead and get a highlighter marker here. So say you're only using in your drawings oops, I want a better color than that. How about this? So you're only using 1, 2, and 3, and then you're not going any darker, okay? So this is to help you understand that maybe your drawings are just super dark. All you're doing is 5, 6, and 7, and then it's white, and maybe you're leaving out the 2, 3, and 4. So when you look at your artwork and you think about shading, a lot of beginning artists use 1, 7, and 4, okay? They understand that there's all white, they understand that there's all black, and then there's one type of gray area. But they forget about 3 and 2 and 5 and 6. So when you shade and when you have value in your artwork, you want to make sure you're using the entire value scale, using all of these. If your artwork only has this part of the value scale, it's going to look really weak. It's going to look kind of faded. A test that you can do is you put it up on the wall and stand 8 feet back and see if you can still see it. So a lot of times I tell students, add some more of these values, 4, 5, 6, and 7, to add more contrast to your work. Now, artwork that is high contrast has kind of like this area right here where you have some 1s and 2s and then you have 5, 6, and 7. So some people like to do that to create artwork that is very high contrast, and some people want it to be more blended, so they use all of them. What I want to make sure that everyone is doing is knowing that they are using more than 3 values. Okay, if you're just using 1, 4, and 7, okay, that's fun if you just picked up the pencil for the first time, but let's go ahead and add some of these in there as well. Okay, now this is a simplified value scale. It only has 7 boxes to the scale. Some can be more detailed. There's definitely more than 7 different values in life. There's many, many, many. It's a continuum from the 1 to whatever number you choose. But we're just doing 7 just to keep it simple, since this is geared towards a beginning art class. So once again, your assignment today is to draw the value scale from 1 to 7, use a ruler to make sure it's straight, and then dull down your wooden pencil a little bit so you can start shading from going from 1 to 7. 1 completely white, you don't touch it. 7 completely black, you're really going to fill that up and maybe apply a little bit more pressure to your pencil. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are going to be a gradual shading from light to dark. So thank you very much for hanging out today at Tripp's art class. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time in future videos. Bye.